This one is dedicated to each and every one of you who appreciate a great glass of wine. You know what I mean?
It's Monday. Let's raise a glass to the beginning of another week. It's time to unscrew, uncork, or saber a bottle. And let's begin exploring the wine glass. If you think Spain is all sun-soaked reds and flamenco flair, Galicia is here to blow your wine-loving mind gently with that coastal breeze. Nestled in the misty northwest corner of the country, this rain-drenched region is where Albariño thrives. Octopus is practically a love language, and vineyards cling to the cliffs like they're auditioning for an action movie. In this episode of Exploring the Wine Glass, we're diving into the green heart of Spain's Atlantic coast, Galicia, where the wines are fresh, the food is legendary, and even bagpipes are welcome at the table. Please take a moment of your time to subscribe, rate, and review Exploring the Wine Glass. It's completely free and is a great way to let other wine lovers know about the podcast. Be sure to head over to the website exploringthewineglass.com to read my award-winning blog and to see what else I have been up to. And most of all, please tell your friends about the podcast. Slainte.
Hey everybody, I'm Lori Budd, a UC Davis winemaking program, Spanish wine scholar, sommelier service, champagne and Côte d'Aron specialist, and a WSET Level 2 graduate. You can find Exploring the Wine Glass on all the socials, as well as your favorite podcast catchers. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time to swipe, subscribe, rate, and review. Stay in the know about all things wine by visiting my website, exploringthewineglass.com. I promise I'll never tell you what to drink, but I'll always share what's in my glass.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Exploring the Wine Glass, where I will never tell you what to drink, but I'll always share what's in my glass. I'm your host, Lori, and as you may know, I am a Spanish wine scholar. I love exploring wine regions, but Spain has a very special place in my heart. So today, I thought it would be fun to launch a new series on Spanish wine, where we will travel virtually, unfortunately, around Spain and take a deep dive into each autonomous region. We will be starting with the lush, rainy, seafood-loving, bagpipe-playing region of Galicia. Yep, we're kicking things off in Spain's northwest corner, and trust me, this region does not disappoint. It's famous for its crisp white wines, a coastline that looks like it was sketched by a wine-loving mermaid, and a food scene that might make you consider moving there with nothing but a corkscrew and a dream. So where is Galicia? Well, it borders the Atlantic Ocean to the west and Portugal to the south. It's separated from the rest of Spain by the Cantabrian Mountains, which means it kind of does its own thing weather-wise, culture-wise, everything-wise. It's famously green thanks to all of the rain, and it's got rivers everywhere. The two main ones are the Minho and the Sil, which play a major role in shaping the region's wine landscapes. In terms of climate, we're talking maritime, which means it's cool, wet, and can be a bit moody, but oh so charming. The humidity and rainfall can be challenging for growers, but those Atlantic breezes help dry things out and preserve acidity. The result? Wines from the region are going to be fresh, aromatic, and absolutely seafood ready. All right, it's time to get into the grapes. Albariño. Albariño is the rock star here, especially in Rías Baixas, and I do love me some Albariño. It brings vibrant acidity, citrus and stone fruit flavors, and often a lovely saline edge from the ocean influence. Yes, you can actually taste the salinity from the ocean, and I love it. Godello, mostly found in Valdeorras, is like Albariño's more introverted but equally talented sibling, fuller-bodied, sometimes oak-aged, and built to age. Significantly less popular, but I don't really know why, because it's a beautiful grape that makes exceptional wines. Other white grapes worth noting include Teixeira, Lorera, and Torrontés, often used in blends to increase the complexity and uplift those aromatics. On the red side, Mencia is the standout, particularly in Ribeira Sacra and Valdeorras. It brings juicy, red fruit, spice, and fresh herbal notes. You also can find lesser-known native reds like Branciello, Caño Tinto, and Solson, which add depth and character to regional blends. So we're going to get down into the 5 DOs of Galicia. These DOs, or denominations de origine, and has their own specific identity, and just each one is unique and has their special wines and history to them. We've got to start off with Rias Baixas. This is by far probably the best known DO. It is located along the southwestern coast of Galicia. This is Albariño Central. Over 90% of the wines from here are made from Albariño grape. The DO is divided into 5 subregions, with Val dos Salens being the most prestigious. Its proximity to the sea gives the wines intense minerality and freshness. Other subzones like Cantado do Te and O Rosal are inland, therefore they are slightly warmer, and they're going to be producing rounder styles of Albariño with stone fruit and floral notes. Moving inland and northwest along the Minho and Sil rivers, we're going to hit Ribeira Sacra, which translates to sacred riverbank. This area is famous for its steep terraced vineyards, some on slopes that are up to like 75 degrees. Can you imagine being up there 75 degrees and trying to harvest grapes? It's mostly a red wine region dominated by Mencia. And we did a Wine for Bed episode on Mencia, so I'm going to link those show notes up for you. Mencia thrives on slate and granite soils. These wines are expressive, mineral-driven, and pure. And the terrain is just absolutely breathtaking. It is extremely labor-intensive viticulture and is often referred to as heroic viticulture. Valdeorras Dio is just east along the Sil River, and it is a bit warmer and drier than the coastal zones. This is kind of the spiritual home of Godello, and the producers here are proving that this grape has serious depth. It is a serious wine. Expect white wines with structure, ripe fruit, and the ability to age. Valdeorras also produces red Mencia and the rare Garnacha Tintorera, which is adding a splash of boldness to the mix. Tucked into the southeast along the Portuguese border, Monterrey is the smallest and one of the least known DOs, but don't count it out. The climate is continental, which means it's got hot summers and cold winters, and it makes it a sweet spot for both Godello and Mencia, as well as Araxo, which is just the regional name for Tempranillo. These wines tend to be fruit-forward, easy drinking, though more producers are experimenting with complexity. We're then going to backtrack a bit to the northwest of Monterrey, inland from Rias Baixas, where we're going to hit Ribeiro, one of Spain's oldest documented wine regions. This DO specializes in white blends, especially Trocheadora-based wines, often blended with Lorera, Albariño, or Godello. Ribeiro whites are fresh and lightly floral, while reds, often made from Caño and Branciello, are light and earthy. Ribeiro wines were once shipped in bulk to the UK, and it was one of the British traders' favorites. Where there's wine, there's food, so let's get down to it. Galicia's culinary scene is all about the sea. The most iconic dish is pulpo a la galega. That's Galician-style octopus. It's boiled, sliced, and sprinkled with paprika, olive oil, and coarse sea salt. I do not do octopus. Oh my gosh, I have like nightmares about the tentacles being stuck in a throat and blah, but that is a whole different story. This octopus is tender, smoky, and practically stands up and demands that you pour it a glass of Albariño. Then there's empanada galega, a savory pie usually filled with tuna, peppers, and onions, perfect with a crisp Trocheadora blend. Seafood is king here. Razor clams, mussels, scallops, and barnacles. Yes, gooseneck barnacles. Barnacles are the stuff we scrape at the bottom of the boats. although I think this is probably a different species, and they are known as percebes and are considered delicacies. Even the humble caldo gallego, which is a white bean and chorizo soup, shows up with pride during colder months and pairs surprisingly well with godello. Basically, when it comes to food, if it swims, crawls, gets plucked out of the ocean floor, then it is the soulmate for a Galician glass of wine. Now, Galicia isn't a region obsessed with long barrel aging or big oaky reds. The focus here is on purity and freshness. Whites are mostly fermented in stainless steel to preserve aromatics and acidity, though you will find some lees contact or barrel-aged godello that offers more texture and richness. For the reds, especially Mencia, they are often aged in neutral oak or kept unoaked to highlight the grape's natural elegance. The regulations do vary by DO, but there's a clear emphasis on expressing the grape and the terroir, not overpowering them. Now, what's a podcast about wine without some fun facts? Galicia has its own language. It's called Gallego, and it's co-official with Spanish in the region. You might even see some wine labels with Viño, that squiggly line over the end, so Viño instead of Vino, with no squiggly line. The Albariño myth. For years, locals believed that Albariño was related to Riesling, brought by monks from Germany during medieval times. DNA testing said, nope, nada, nice try, but not true. But the story does still live on in wine lore. And wine fact number 3, wine by a boat. Yes, in the Riviera Sacra. Some vineyards are only accessible by river. During harvest, grapes are sometimes loaded onto boats or carried by pulley systems down terrifying slopes. Yes, it is called heroic viticulture for a reason. So, my friends, that's Galicia in a nutshell, a region defined by its rugged coastline, dramatic rivers, fresh seafood, and some of Spain's most vibrant and expressive wines. If you haven't explored Galicia in your glass yet, this is your sign. Pick up an Albariño, try a Godello, or hunt down a bottle of Mencia. You'll thank me later, I promise. Next time, we're going to head northeast to Asturias, where cider is a star, but wine is shining. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, and maybe even share this episode with your favorite wine nerd or sea lover. Until next time, keep exploring the wine glass, because the best way to learn about wine is to just keep drinking it. Feel free to reach out with any questions, comments, or concerns. Slainte!
Very, very special. You are so special.
And now, a word from our sponsor. Did you know that Dracaena Wines has a wine club? We named it the Chalk Club. Draco is on our label, but Vegas was getting a bit jealous, so we decided he deserved to be our wine club spokesdog. In Las Vegas, betting chalk means that you are betting on all of the favorites, and we're gambling that once you taste our wines, we will become one of your favorite wineries. The club is simple, yet a bit different than most. We don't ask for a lot of commitment like others do. Choose between 3 tiers, the Sweet 16, where you will receive 3 bottles twice a year and get 15% off all orders. Sign up for the Elite 8 and get 20% off all orders and receive 4 bottles twice a year, or make it to the Final 4 and receive 6 bottles twice a year, as well as receiving 25% off purchases. All tiers receive discounted shipping, are customizable, and are eligible for unlimited referral bonuses. Add $15 to the bank for each person you refer. Head to www.dracaenawines.com to use the link in the show notes to find out all the Chalk Club has to offer and to sign up. We've stocked the odds so that you can get our award-winning wines without breaking the bank.
Even in the Bible, water go turn.
This has been another episode of Exploring the Wine Glass. Thanks for listening. If you have suggestions on what topics you would like me to discuss, please reach out on social media. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as Exploring the Wine Glass. I am also on LinkedIn as Lori Hoyt Budd. Of course, you can always email me at exploringthewineglass@gmail.com and sign up for my newsletter at exploringthewineglass.com. If you enjoyed what you heard, please rate, review, and subscribe to help others find me more easily. And most importantly, tell your wine-loving friends, because if you like the podcast, they will too. Podcast music is Wine by Key Vince. Until next week, Slainte!
I want a nice glass right now. I'm on keep it for my 10,000, I'll tell you. There is always time for a good glass of wine. No, no, no. Oh, no, no, no. Never let you go. Oh, oh. No, no, no. Never let you go. Oh, oh. I want a nice glass right now.